He stood in the middle of the gangway, looking out at the towering skyline of the city. He took off his hat, tossed it into the sea, and turned back toward the ship. 1900 sat down at the piano once more, fingers dancing across the keys of his life. Max played one last song with tears in his eyes, then left the ship for good. War followed soon after. Years later, Max, now broke, walked into a music shop to sell his trumpet. There, he stumbled upon the original recording 1900 had made. The shop owner told him the ocean liner had been converted into a hospital ship during the war. Now that the war was over, it sat docked at the harbor. Max rushed to the pier, certain that 1900 was still on board. But the ship was set to be demolished. Crates of dynamite were being loaded on as he arrived. Ignoring the workers trying to stop him, Max climbed aboard and searched everywhere for 1900, but it was as if he'd vanished into thin air. Still, Max refused to give up. He went back to the music shop, hoping to lure 1900 out by playing the record, but the owner tried to stop him. When Max finally told him the whole story, the owner relented. Max brought the record back to the ship and played 1900's music in every corner, but there was still no sign of him. Defeated, he gathered up the record and turned to leave, and there he was. 1900 stood before him in a sharp suit, calm and composed, ready to face the end. Max did everything he could to convince him to get off the ship, but 1900 had made up his mind. He didn't want to leave because out there, he couldn't see where things ended. To him, the outside world was just a bigger version of the ship. On board, he could shine, he could be in control, but on land, he couldn't steer his own fate. A lifetime at sea had made it impossible for him to navigate the world beyond. He chose to go down with the ship. Max had no choice but to say goodbye. 1900 raised his hand and played the piano one last time. He looked up, a faint smile on his lips, and the ship exploded. 1900 was gone. Max returned to the music shop and told the owner what had happened. The old man shook his head, saddened by the loss. Max got up to leave, but the owner chased after him and handed back his trumpet. He said the story was worth the price.